Thanks for joining us once again for an update from the Mayor of New Hope, Kathi Hemken. Good morning, Kathi. How are you today?
Morning, Dave. Just fine, thank you.
Thanks for spending a little time with us today to bring residents up to date. We have a lot to talk about. Get your calendars out for the end of the program as we're going to take you through the next couple months and a lot that's happening in New Hope. But let's begin talking about what most people are talking about, Mayor, the water and water restrictions. How are things going in New Hope and what should residents pay attention to?
Well, as you know, it hasn't rained since we talked about this last. So, of course, the water restrictions are still on. You cannot water at all from noon till 6 every day. But when you can water on odd and even days, you can only do that before noon or after 6 o'clock. And so the odd and even corresponds with your home address. So if your address ends in a 7, that's odd, you can water on the odd days. Now, if you have new soil or new seed or sod,
Yep.
that you can water anytime, but not between noon and 6. But you can water every day because we really don't want your sod or seed to dry out. So please just be careful with the water. It's becoming very precious.
Very good. Let's talk a little bit about the Planning Commission. Just a quick note here that will not be meeting here in early August. Is that correct?
That's correct. We did not have any applications for the Planning Commission, so they won't be meeting in August, but they will meet in September. September 7th will be the next meeting, and that will be in person.
Okay. Let's move to scattered site housing projects. Keep people up to date here. First, the project on Louisiana, really moving along here.
It is. That actually closed last week at 4:35. Family with children are moving in. If you're just wondering about the lawn on the south side, they're going to hydro seed that, but they can't do that when it's so hot and dry. So that'll be done in the fall when it's got a little bit of chance of growing.
And the other house then is the Habitat House on 47th. How is that coming along?
Well, that one's kind of interesting. You know,
Okay.
because it's Habitat, they really want things donated. Well, all the siding that's on the house was donated, but it comes in different colors. So they put that siding on, and it's going to be painted. It'll be painted gray with white trim once they get it all on. So it looks kind of funny now, but it will get painted and it will look pretty. So just hang in there.
Good to know. Business networking group. We have an event coming up very quickly here and another one coming up in September. Give us a preview of both of those.
Well, on Wednesday is a business networking group. That's at 8:30. It'll be virtual. It's done by Fairweather Design. He's a guy that does branding for a small company, does your website. After that, the next one will be the 1st of September, and that'll be hosted by the person who does the calendars that come out, Tony Salinger. And I believe that will be in person and probably be at City Hall.
Very good. Let's go to the police department. A number of things happening here in community development, community engagement, I should say. Let's talk a little bit about Coffee with the Cop, a recent event, well attended.
Well attended. Our police are really trying to get out in the community and talk to people. So they had Coffee with a Cop at the Lodge, which is next to Ambassador Nursing Home, and that went fairly well. And then they had a barbecue at Broadway Village, and I heard the turnout was excellent.
Wonderful.
So they're getting to talk to residents, making sure they understand that they can call the police department if they need any assistance.
And then you have an update from the police department on the body worn cameras. How is that process moving along?
We're done. They're on. So the cops have got the body cams. They'll be using them. They've got requirements on when they're supposed to turn them on, and they'll do that. And we'll be watching very carefully to make sure everything's running smooth with that.
Now to a department that's very, very busy this time of the year. It's Public Works. They are out at about every park, it sounds like. Let's first begin with hockey rinks. They're busy doing some painting on the hockey rinks.
These are our maintenance angels. They're out there doing stuff in this hot weather, and they're so busy. So the outdoor hockey rinks are being repainted, and that's just about done. They put some extra picnic tables at Bayesian Park because the residents asked for them. Once again, there's graffiti, and this time it's at Meadow Lake tennis courts. If you see graffiti being done, please call. Call the city, call the police department, call somebody, call me, and call somebody and let us know what you're seeing. We can't stop it till we can find the people that are doing it. And it's very expensive to take that off. And of course, that expense is paid by the citizens. So
Mhm.
please help us try to find those people that are doing the graffiti.
All right, and let's move to some water work that's being done underneath the streets first. We've got one on Quebec Avenue, a water main break, and then also our friends on Oregon. Give us an update on both of those.
So there was a water main break on 43rd in Quebec, and they had to turn the water off yesterday, on Monday, just so they could see where the leaks were. They've got that figured out. They're working on that. The water's back on, but they're working on that break. And then poor Oregon,
Mhm.
that water main that goes from 38th up to 42nd. Most of the way it was good, and they were relining it, but of course, remember the one of the connections was leaking. They had to repair that. When they repaired it, they realized that some of the pipe to the south of that was deteriorated. They couldn't get the liner through, so now they're working to try to fix that. They've got a couple proposals that they're looking at. When I say they, the maintenance folks are looking at what might work best. So one of these days, they're going to actually pave Oregon. I know they are,
Right.
but they can't do that till they get all this water main stuff figured out. So hang in there, guys, in Oregon. It's coming.
Sounds good. Well, one thing that the warm weather is doing in a helpful way for the city is helping draw down a lake. And this is something that is planned. Give us an update on that whole process of what's happening there and what is going to be continuing throughout the rest of the summer and into winter.
Well, Meadow Lake had a really nasty algae bloom. And about a year and a half, 2 years ago, they started looking at that and what they could do about fixing that problem. First, they had all these little itty bitty fish, and there were no predators, so the fish just expanded like crazy,
Mhm.
which doesn't help the bloom at all. So they applied to the DNR to get a permit to do this drawdown. Well, they got that permit. They need a second one, and they're waiting for that one. It's for something else. They're waiting for that to come through. Why they had to wait till August was for the turtles to
Mhm.
migrate somewhere else.
Right.
So the turtles, I think, are starting to flock or whatever turtles do when they start to move.
Right.
They'll do something. But and the good news of that is Mother Nature is helping us with this drawdown.
Mhm.
So the water seems to be going away just because Mother Nature is helping it go away. So once we get those permits, though, we'll do that water that drawdown, and
Okay.
then we'll be able to clean up the lake a little bit.
All right, we'll keep people up to date on that. Let's talk Park and Rec, and this might be a place to go to the city's website, newhopemn.gov, to find out about all that's going on. There is a lot. And first, we've got some classes to talk about, some fun classes still available for residents to get involved in.
Oh, there is. Look in your InMotion because that's the place to find them. There's almost too many to talk about. So you can go to the InMotion, see what's available. By this time, your kids are wanting to get out of the house and do something different. I
Mhm.
do know that the Park and Rec has some funds available. So if you can't afford the full fund to send that child to a camp or to an activity, call the number on your screen and they might be able to help you get some funding for this. I understand that they're asking the families to pay half the fee and then the city will pick up the other half. So don't not send the kids until you check out what the cost is for you.
Very
But
good.
lots of those things going on. But now the new In Motion and In Touch came out, and in the In Motion magazine, you'll find all the programs that are coming out in the fall. They're for little ones, for medium-sized ones, for adults, for seniors. It's all in that magazine. Don't throw it away. If you didn't get one, you can go to City Hall and pick one up. It's well worth getting to see what's going to be going on in the fall.
Yep, best way to stay up to date. How about our adult softball players? They are about to wrap things up this year.
Yep. So you should be able to go to any of the softball fields and see the tryouts being completed. They'll be going on till the 9th of August. It's really fun to go watch a softball game with these guys.
And for the younger ones, I understand now a time that the parents are wrapping things up and they're getting to do a survey. Tell us about the survey use and why that's important for the city.
Well, we send out a survey to the parents of the children that are not only in the ball programs but in the summer programs,
Mhm.
asking them what went right, what went wrong, what can be changed, what do you want to see, and then they go through those and they go back to the parents and give that information back to the parents. So we are looking at them. That survey, by the way, is different than the city survey that's
Okay.
going out.
Mhm.
And so you should have got that in your utility bill. If you don't get a utility bill, you can go online to newhopemn.gov/survey and answer the survey there. It's only like 13 questions. We really do read those surveys and we really want your input.
And we'll mention that deadline in just a minute here. Let's go to some of the park and rec facilities in the city. First, the golf course. Very busy at this time of the year, both on the course and also on the patio. What's happening?
Well, there's lots of people that want to do um, outings, if you will. So they reserve the golf course, whether they all start at the same time with a shotgun start or they alternate and go out every 8 minutes. But nevertheless, if you want to play golf between the leagues and these tournaments, you really need to go online and make the tee time or call and see what's available to get in. Don't just show up because I don't want you to be disappointed. And the course looks beautiful, by the way.
Good advice. How about the ice arena? How are things going there? We still have lots of folks getting trained?
We do. There's all now what they're doing is all the specialty trainings,
Okay.
like the goaltenders and the puck shooting. And I don't play hockey, so I don't know all these terms. But so all the specialty things are still going on. They're still doing the boys and girls AAA clinics. These are the high performance golf or hockey players. So that's still going on. And of course, there's the guys that are renting the ice once a week to play.
And then let's go over to the swimming pool, the aquatic park, still very busy. And I understand the season moving along quickly here and some of the lessons about to wrap up.
The swim lessons will wrap up this week, but of course the pool is still open. It opens at noon. It stays open till 8 o'clock. I'm sorry to say the pool's going to close in the middle of August because we can't get lifeguards. And the lifeguards we have are going back to school. Right now, we just don't have a full complement of lifeguards. So we're kind of moving them around to keep what we can keep open. But the pool is open. And as of last Wednesday, 35,000 people have come through that pool. So it's been really, really busy. It's been a real big hit.
That is wonderful. You mentioned the publications a couple times. Again, the InMotion is out and also the In Touch. So again, residents have plenty of opportunity to find out what's going on in the city.
Yeah, and please read those because they're really interesting stuff. And you can find out what's going on. And the InMotion will tell you everything that's going on in the city.
All right.
And the dates of that.
And speaking of what's going on, all right, get your calendars out. We warned you here that there's a lot going on in the city. Let's start with some events coming up right away here in August. Food Truck Fridays. When is that next event?
Well, this coming Friday, it's every Friday through September, and it's 11 to 2. So you just go to the food trucks, get what you want, go over to the pavilion, eat under the shade, and it's just a fun sort of event. It only is there for 3 hours on Friday.
All right, get over there and have some fun and follow it up the next day by the Farmers Market on the 7th. Again, what's the timing, location for the Farmers Market?
Well, that's on Xylon, right on the street in front of City Hall, and that's from 9 to 1. The corn is in, and the corn is fabulous. There's also some crafters, and there's some nonprofits that'll be there. So that's just a fun time to go and get your produce.
All right, and over that whole weekend, while you're going to the Food Truck Friday and the Farmers Market, you might also want to stop by the Off-Broadway Musical Theater. How is that going? I know they already had a batch of performances, but still more coming.
This will be the last weekend, I'm afraid.
Okay.
This starts about 8 o'clock. It's called the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. And it's just delightful. It's really fun to watch it. And it's a free event. If you want to pay $4 to help offset the cost of the production, that would be nice. You can also bring canned goods. That's real helpful too.
Let's move ahead to August 11th, a special event happening at one of the fire stations, a barbecue, and this is really a recruitment effort. Tell us why people should attend here.
So all over the city, you've seen the signs. Want to be a firefighter?
Yeah.
So New Hope and Crystal have a joint fire department. And so they're looking for people that want to be a firefighter. You have to live within 6 blocks, 6 minutes of a station. And that's really important because we need to have them out. So on the 11th, they're having a barbecue at Station 3. That's the one in New Hope. And the idea is if a firefighter is interested, if a person's interested in being a firefighter, bring your family because this is really a family affair. They'll have this free barbecue. You'll be able to talk to some of the firefighters. They'll give you some information. If you're interested, you can sign up for the training, which the fire department pays for. And then once you're a firefighter, it's paid on call. So you get paid when you get a call to go to a fire. Otherwise, you're you're just home or at work. So do try to get to that on the 11th of August.
All right, let's move ahead to the August 19th date. This is a movie in the park. What is showing and where can we see the movie?
Well, what's showing is Black Panther. It'll start at 8:30, and that's at the Performance Center. Bring a chair or a blanket. You'll be sitting on the grass, either in a chair or on a blanket, watching the movie. It's on a big blow-up screen that's there. And of course, the acoustics are wonderful. It's just fun to be outside and watch a movie.
You bet. And here's another way to get some fun outside. On September 15th, a band is coming to that performance center. Who's coming?
Well, the Fridley City Band is coming and they're playing German music. And this is really a concert for people that are at home, seniors, or bring your kids for that matter, if the kids are in school by then. And that's 11:30 to 12:30, and that's a free event also.
Another event for the kids coming up on September 18th. This is an annual favorite, the Vehicle Fair. What happens at the Vehicle Fair?
Everything that's got wheels shows up at the Vehicle Fair. So CCX is there, the fire department's there with their big ladder trucks. I think the big MRAP thing we have in New Hope will be there for the kids. Police cars, ambulances, anything that's got wheels will be there. It'll be at the Crystal Community Center, and it's I don't have the time.
Looks like 10 to noon on my
10 to
notes
noon.
here. All right.
Thank you. And that's a free event. Basically, you just walk around the parking lot and look at the vehicles. The kids love it.
Yeah, lots of fun. Also fun on the next day, the 19th, it's the Lions Pancake Breakfast. Where does that occur?
Well, that's one of their big fundraisers.
Yeah.
That's at the Crystal Community Center. Lions are New Hope and Crystal together. It'll be there. If you haven't done one of those, it's really good pancakes. And there's lots of stuff that they auction off and just lots of people. You can see all your neighbors and friends. And that's from 8 to 12:30. And there's a cost for that. I just don't know what it is.
All right, great fun to be had. Let's move ahead to October. Just a quick reminder, you mentioned the city surveys first, and we have a deadline coming up October 1st. Again, you want everyone to get a survey in.
I do. And the reason I do is because we really do read those surveys. And if you have a comment, you put it on the bottom. If you want a call back from staff, somebody from staff will call and you can talk to them about what's happening. Or if you have a concern that you don't really find a place to put it, write that concern in that comment. Somebody will call you back. But you have until the 1st of October to do that. And you can go online to get that.
Great way to give feedback. And final date to mention is October 9th. That is the City Day. What is City Day?
City Day went away for a couple years because we were building City Hall, we were building a pool, we had a pandemic, but it's back. So City Day is a time when you can come and just look at all the services that the city offers. So the maintenance people will be there with their trucks, the council will be there, the city manager there'll be police officers there, planning commission people will be there. So you can kind of go around and see what's happening in the city. The other thing they do is they give you 5 beans, and you can put your beans in a jar. And the reason for that is they label the jars. What's the 5 most important things for you? And they're labeled like park and rec, community safety, police officers, body cams, and you just put your beans in the jars that are important to you. That gives us a really good idea of where we should be spending our money in the city.
Well, a great immediate way for people to give some feedback to the city. So given that City Day coming up on October 9th. And again, all of this information on the city's website, newhopemn.gov. And again, the InMotion is the place to look, correct, Mayor?
That's correct.
There's
lots of other things going on from that InMotion. Like there's a pickleball league.
Okay.
Who knew? And of course the golf leagues in the fall and the defensive driving classes. And then there's something called Don't It Make You Wonder. And so that, I believe they're going to do that in person starting in
Very
September.
nice.
So lots of stuff. Go to your InMotion. You can find out everything you need to know.
You could be busy about every day of the week in New Hope. So
you could.
Get out there and take a look at that. Mayor, thanks once again for your time. Good to talk to you as always. And we'll see you again next week.
Thanks, Dave. See you.
Learn more about the connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.